Hi listeners, welcome to Nosing Around, Hong Kong's leading weekly podcast for teenagers. On a packed programme this week, we have a report on what it's like to be a die-hard fan of local Hong Kong football, as we invite in members of the supporters clubs of the 10 teams in the Hong Kong Premier League. We have an interview with Dr. Hav, a Singaporean hotel director who combines his day job with being a DJ at nights. But firstly, I'll be interviewing a very different doctor. I have with me today Dr. Jack Jones from the Hong Kong Social History Museum. Dr. Jones, welcome back to Nosing Around. This is the third time I think you've been on the show.
Hello, Patty. Yes, it's great to be back on Nosing Around. It's always a pleasure.
So maybe we can start with the Social History Museum. I'm sure our listeners will be familiar with what is meant by a museum traditionally, but can you explain to our listeners what a social history museum is?
Well, Patty, that's a good question. A social history museum is a place where visitors can experience what daily life was like for ordinary people in the past.
Okay, so everyday life for ordinary people in the past. When you say ordinary people, do you mean people like me and the listeners? Not, say, kings and queens?
Yes, ordinary people like you and me, not kings and queens. You are not a queen, I'm guessing.
Well, maybe in a past life. So, what sort of things can I see in a social history museum?
Well, you see ordinary items people used in the past. So, rather than seeing ancient pottery and weapons, we can look at old tables and chairs you would find in your grandparents' homes. Things like old telephones, computers.
So, ordinary things then, but old. Would that include old clothes people used to wear?
Yes, exactly.
You see, that would interest me. I really like vintage fashion items, jackets, jewellery, that sort of thing. Now, I've heard your museum is very big. In fact, it's so big that you've even rebuilt a whole farmhouse inside the museum building.
Yes, that's right. The Wang Chung Traditional Farmhouse. It was moved to the museum brick by brick and reconstructed inside the museum last year in 2015. It was a very difficult operation, I can tell you.
And where did it originally come from?
The farmhouse was found at the bottom of a reservoir. You know, a man-made lake.
Wow, you mean the farmhouse was underwater?
Yes, at the bottom of the Wang Chung Reservoir.
Okay, I know Wang Chung Reservoir. I've been hiking up there.
Well, maybe what you didn't know was before the reservoir, there was a village there. Wang Chung Village, and it disappeared underwater in 1990 when they built the reservoir.
Really? No, I didn't know that.
It actually used to be quite a famous village, Wang Chung, for the Wang Chung Pineapple Festival.
Okay, the Pineapple Festival. I think I might have seen old photos of that.
Yes, quite possibly. The Pineapple Festival was a pretty big festival in its day. Farmers would offer pineapples to the god of farming.
Yeah, that's what I remember from the photo. Right, oh, I know what I was going to ask. You'll have to forgive me, but where is the Social History Museum?
It's in South Point, close to the new MTR station.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, only 2 minutes from South Point MTR, exit A.
Wow, only 2 minutes walk. Is that on Reed Street, you know, as in R-E-I-D?
Yes, that's right. Get out at exit A and just go straight up Reed Street to the museum.
And I've been told that you are giving a talk on farming in the new territories. Is that next Wednesday, the 13th of April?
Yes, that's right. On April 13th, from 8 to 9 in the evening. Wednesday. The title of the talk, as you just said, is Farming in the New Territories.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. I'd love to know more about farming in the new territories. Wouldn't you, listeners? Remember, if you want to go, don't be late. 8 p.m. start and finish at 9 p.m.
Can I also add that we're having an exhibition on farming in the new territories at the museum? And in the exhibition, we're hoping to display the Changyi tack plow.
Oh, I actually remember reading about the Changyi tack plough when I studied history at school. A lot of our listeners will remember it from school as well, I'm sure. Actually, I'd be really interested in seeing it. Maybe you could tell the listeners who don't know what's so special about the Changyi tack plough.
Well, it's special because it's the only wood and iron plow in the world that...
So hang on. There are no other wood and iron ploughs in the world?
No, Patty. I hadn't quite finished what I was saying. I was about to say that there are, of course, many wood and iron plows in the world, but this is the only one from the 18th century that's not damaged. So that's the amazing thing about the Changyi tack plow. It's from the 18th century, but is in almost perfect condition.
Okay, well, as I said, I want to go to see it for real. Okay, thank you for coming in and speaking with us today, Dr. Jones, and good luck with your exhibition.